Yesterday marked 1 year since the U.S. was declared under national emergency due to the rapid spread of COVID-19. This not only had a huge impact on the healthcare community, but also on local businesses. Our Nixon Norman tells us how one local business adapted to survive.
Safety has been at the front of people's minds like never before during this past year. And to keep the public safe, many local businesses have been affected due to shutdowns, forcing businesses to adapt.
During this week last year, we actually start to implement all the safety measures, 6 feet apart, wearing masks. I think we are one of the first restaurants that asked all our employees wearing masks.
Phuket will continue to mask and socially distance, but have recently moved from patio-only dining to both patio and dining room seating.
We are not really open the dining area until beginning of last month. We actually shut down the dining area since March last year. We opened just the patio outside. And all of our customers are very understanding.
Although the restaurant has made some changes that worked, they faced a very common challenge among many local businesses.
The challenge would be the sales drop.
Even though the sales dropped, it was important to keep every employee on board and to continue to safely serve the community.
To keep employees safe and to keep employees employed is very important, because during the hard time, we have to look after each other. Especially when we are working in the restaurant, in the business, we are like family. And as a restaurant, it's not just about making money. It's more like contribute to the community.
And now, a light at the end of the tunnel is starting to appear.
The sale start to pick up. That for sure, because people feel more safe.
As long as things continue to look up.
I must say it's amazing that in a year, we're actually about to go back to normal again, hopefully. Hopefully there's no surprise, no second surprise or third surprise.
Putting the Valley first, Nixon Norman, WZDX News.